Okay, we are reconvening our special council meeting that was started at 3:30 and adjourned at almost 4 o'clock. So we are back at 5:55 to reconvene this meeting. So where we left off, we had a motion and an amendment on the floor. So I want to read the motion so everyone is aware. It was moved by Councillor Hocking, seconded by Councillor Sackle, that report DCS 1524 current 2025 budget status be received by council, and that the 2025 budget in the amount of $9,801,000 with a 7.67 levy increase be approved as presented, with the exception that council provides direction on how to allocate the $95,000 currently in the 2025 economic development budget that is earmarked for Launchpad purposes via a separate resolution. Then we had an amendment from Councillor Cable and Deputy Mayor Dickert, and I don't have the exact words, but I believe it is to transfer the $95,000 from the line that reads, thank you, and that the $95,000 currently in the 2025 economic development budget under transfer to YATSE, which is Youth Activity and Technology Center, be reallocated to cover Launchpad's outstanding loan from 2022 unaccounted for 2023 deficit and accumulating 2024 deficit. And it was left for Councillor Sackle to speak.
Thank you, Your Worship. Well, like Councillor Hocking, I am in favor of passing the budget. I am not in favor of Councillor Cable's amendment. That transfer of money and Launchpad not receiving any would definitely cripple us. We would not be able to move forward. I want to remind everybody of some of the comments that were made by April Marshall in the report we received tonight. As a united council, we agreed to the goals that were set forth in our strat plan from 2023 to 2027. And one of those goals was to strengthen Launchpad's programming, noting financial contribution expectations and stabilizing long-term funding. So are we not obligated as a council to move forward on what we said we were going to do in our strategic plan? We are a regional hub, and Launchpad can play an important role by offering a range of opportunities for jobs, providing certification courses, working with local businesses to discover how we can partner with them to provide courses and skilled instructors who are local, so they don't have to travel to the city. Yes, we saw 4 letters in our package today of support, but I think that's important because the listening public needs to know, as we've tried to explain, we want open transparency. We want you to know exactly what we're dealing with. So that application of $250,000 from the Skill Development Fund for a Pathways on Workforce project is our wish. We are hoping to receive that. We have already received the Rural Economic Development Fund, which is a grant, and it's been approved for $62,000 for the skilled programs expansion. These grants will allow Launchpad to employ an instructor coordinator who will solely focus on building and securing relationships with instructors who can deliver additional construction trades programs and identify funding streams to control program costs and generate revenue. Instructors will have competency in delivering program content, as well as the curriculum available through Skills Trades Ontario. Now, you saw a letter from Justin Graham from Ontario Youth Apprenticeship Program. We like to call it OYAP. And when I look at what he said in his letter, I see Launchpad as a bridge between the high school work that tech teachers do and that OYAP provides, and the businesses who seek those apprentices, especially in light of the skilled trades careers that are becoming more and more needed, especially with Bruce Power's expansion plans in the works. Not only can we contribute directly to those expansion plans, but also indirectly we can assist assist employers because some may be affected by a loss of employees because of this project. I think Justin points out that the Skill Development Fund will provide local employers with funding to help those new to our workforce. And isn't that something we want to provide for local businesses? Now, the second letter was from LIUNA, the Laborers International Union of North America, Local 1059. They point out that if Launchpad receives this funding, that we would then be able to purchase the necessary equipment that they need, including personal protective equipment. LIUNA does commit to continuing to support and partner with Launchpad, even after their facility is built in Walkerton. Their goal is to retain a local and regional workforce, and they believe Launchpad can assist them with that. Thirdly, the Ironworkers Union, Local 736. They've been working with Launchpad for a while now, and they have expressed an interest in installing more welding booths than we already have. And they're excited to host an upgraded welding and training program. They are specifically wanting to train skilled welders in order to meet the future needs at the Bruce Nuclear Power Plant. Last week, Launchpad's chair, Adam Olivero, presented a 2025 budget and goals. He shared the board's plans for the coming year, including the multi-year recurring revenue streams, attracting additional long-term rental partnerships, hosting an open house, providing a Giving Tuesday fundraiser, and he set out plans for youth and adult programming, as well as providing school field trips in 2025. Launchpad provides all relevant life skills with a specialization in enhancing skilled trades development in our region. The board's wish is to see Launchpad busy again with youth and young adults, ensuring everyone has the opportunity to build a career in the skilled trades. We want to close the gap that we see of training and programming that currently is too far away and costs too much. The board is committed to having a balanced budget at the end of 2025. All we ask is that you give them one more chance to prove that Launchpad can succeed in becoming a youth skills training and technology center that the town of Hanover can be proud of. If Launchpad does not succeed in achieving these goals for 2025, then we will not expect any financial contributions from the town in 2026. Thank you for your careful consideration in this matter.
Thank you. I'm going to ask if anyone wants to speak before I do. And of course, after I speak, there's, all kinds of opportunities, but any response? Okay. So when we are making decisions like this, I always like to review the history and consider all factors, not just the financial side. So to begin, Hanover is recognized as a youth-friendly community. At around the time Launchpad opened in 2015, Hanover received gold status designation from Playworks for actively supporting and providing opportunities for the growth and development of youth through play. Launchpad was open to give youth opportunities and experiences in employment and business, and as a drop-in center where youth had a safe place to go. Youth Roots, with Brandon Cable as the coordinator, was established as a response to an overwhelming community concern in regards to youth abusing the drug methamphetamine. Concerned parents and residents gathered for a town hall meeting to learn about the drug, also referred to as crystal meth, and to look for solutions to stop this drug causing so much harm in our community. There was standing room only in the Civic Theater, and Launchpad was proposed as part of the solution. Over the years, Launchpad has evolved, with drop-in sessions no longer being offered, while youth, adult, and apprenticeship programming being the main focus. You will see in Chris's report that Launchpad has carried a deficit since 2022. And despite being in a deficit position with specific circumstances that have occurred, Launchpad has been reducing the deficit each year, with 2024 being the smallest deficit. Launchpad was never meant to be a profit center, but it was intended to eventually break even. The MOU that we signed with Launchpad states that Launchpad will establish an annual balanced budget that strives for self-sustainability from the town's annual contribution. It also states that should a deficit be realized, the town will be notified along with communication of appropriate plans to cover the deficit. The Launchpad Board of Directors have completed those requirements. Looking at this from a purely financial perspective, if we do not support Launchpad with the annual contribution, there will be no opportunity for the town to recover any of the deficit. There are levels of governments that present yearly budgets while carrying deficits in the billions. Launchpad is in a somewhat similar position, a balanced annual budget with a deficit of $114,000. While the current total deficit plus the wind down costs, which would include HR costs and town staff resources to manage the sale and removal of any assets and items, along with any unknowns, the total cost already exceeds the annual contribution. The Launchpad Board of Directors have presented a feasible plan to having a balanced budget at the end of 2025. The board members have shown passion and commitment to seeing a successful result. And I thank the board members for this, as it is rare for volunteers to continue advocating for the continuation of Launchpad under these circumstances. Throughout the years, the town has demonstrated its commitment to youth, and we should continue that support. Through Launchpad, we can provide meaningful opportunities for youth and their future, which is also our future. Thank you. The floor is open to anyone. Okay. All right. So we have an amendment on the floor. Do you want me to read it again? Can I have that, Vicki?
Yeah.
Or you can read it.
Okay, so the amendment would technically read as follows: that the main motion be amended to strike out, with the exception that council provides direction on how to allocate the $95,000 currently in the 2025 economic development budget that is earmarked for Launchpad purposes by a separate resolution, and be replaced with the following: and that the $95,000 currently in the 2025 economic development budget under transfer to Yahtzee be reallocated to cover Launchpad's outstanding loan from 2022, unaccounted for 2023 deficit, and accumulating 2024 deficit.
So this is the amendment we are voting on. All in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4. Those opposed? That amendment is carried. So now we're voting on the main motion that includes that amendment. All in favor? Those opposed? The main motion passes. Thank you. Okay, so at this point, I will ask, are there any notices of motion? Seeing none, we do not have a closed meeting, and I will ask for adjournment at 6:10. I need a mover and seconder. Councillor Fleet and Councillor Hocking, all in favor? That is carried. Thank you.